Hi, I'm Clovis Casali in Paris. Welcome to Encore, coming up on the show. At the crossroads of ballet and visual arts, Hiroyuki Umeda's new show is part of the LA Dance Project at the Théâtre du Châtelet in Paris, and he's our guest today. He has been instrumental in the establishment of video as a vital form of contemporary art. Bill Viola's work is celebrated at the Grand Palais in Paris. And we'll take you to Istanbul. It's one of the locations in the latest project of French photographer JR. But first, we go to our guest. Encore starts now. Our guest today is Japanese choreographer and multidisciplinary artist Hiroyuki Umeda. His latest project, entitled Peripheral Stream, is part of Benjamin Millepied's ballet show that's currently on at the Théâtre du Châtelet in Paris. Hiroyuki Umeda, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
What's it like to work with Benjamin Millepied, who's one of the leading figures in the world of dance, and who's also, of course, the husband of actress Natalie Portman?
And I have an impression that he has a very open mind for the dance. And he has also a wide range of interest for the dance. And so as he is, the company also has very open-minded. So when I work with them, it was very interesting because they are so curious what I'm going to do. So I was very comfortable working with them. Yeah.
And your style is very different. Can you explain what Peripheral Stream is and how you came up with the idea of those impressive visual backgrounds on stage?
The peripheral stream means that I started working on the movement of the dancers, and the dancer makes a movement from the gravity center. This is a mainstream of the movement. And then this mainstream of the movement makes a movement of their body. And also this human body makes another stream in the background of the video image. So,
well, let's take a look at one of the performance of your four dancers with this clip.
Yeah.
So you say you focus on choreographing time and space.
Yeah.
What does that actually mean?
Time and space is, for me, it changes. So the movement makes changes in the space. And for me, the choreographing is how to construct the time and the space with a movement. So it is that.
And clearly technology plays a key part in your work.
Yeah. For me, the technology can show us the things imperceptible. Usually, we cannot realize so much. So this is interesting for me.
And you put electronic music in your performances.
Yeah. I usually put electronic music, but not like a music. It's more sound.
Sound.
Like, yeah, abstract sound.
Okay, well, let's go back and talk about your career, because before starting your company S20, you trained as a dancer and all kinds of styles, ballet, contemporary dance, and hip-hop.
Yeah.
Does that wide range of style have a deep influence on your work?
Actually, I took many style of the dance lessons, but I stopped very quickly. And after that, I got interested in system of the movement. So this makes me give the style of the dance that I have now. Yeah.
And contemporary dance is often seen as elitist. Do you feel that young artists such as yourself needs to modernize it, bring something different to attract a new category, new fans?
I think so, because the dance has always the body, so that the body has always, this modern society.
And you've been described as a major name in Japanese avant-garde. Your home country, Japan, has always been a place of intense creativity, whether it's it's fashion or design. What makes Japan so special in terms of art?
I think culturally that Japanese society has been changed very quickly and a lot. So I was grown up this rapidly changes culture. So that makes me my mind has been changed. This like rapidly. Yeah.
And you're constantly traveling, Paris, Los Angeles, New York, everywhere. Do you miss Japan sometimes?
Sometimes, especially food.
Especially food.
Yeah.
Okay, well, now stay with us because we've got a report I'm sure you'll be extremely interested in because, of course, you work in the world of visual arts also. Paris's Grand Palais is hosting a retrospective honouring American video artist Bill Viola. It plunges visitors into a mysterious world, inviting them to reflect on the meaning of life and death. Inspired by classical and Renaissance art, this exhibition offers more than 6 hours of video works. Mark Thompson tells us more.
Plunging into the dark and mysterious world of Bill Viola, where men and women of all ages can breathe underwater. For the artist himself, it's a very personal installation. He almost drowned when he was just 6 years old.
That little moment was the beginning of my career because I never forgot that moment, how beautiful that was. So I was seeing something that was death because I could have died at the same time, but the thing that was in front of me was beautiful. It was pure beauty.
This retrospective of the artist's 40-year back catalogue of work at the Grand Palais in Paris includes themes of religion, spirituality, birth and death. Viola says he feels it's important not to get bogged down in the modern world.
I think the most important thing right now is not technology, it's the human heart. It's the human heart is the place where we decide the difference between right and wrong.
Here, visitors are posed philosophical questions rather than suggested answers, an approach inspired by old masters like Giotto and Goya.
The painters who are Bill Viola's references are the grand masters of painting, particularly those of the Renaissance. In this sense, he too is a classic painter, and he tackles themes that are ultimately quite unusual in today's contemporary art.
Viola will be hoping recent success across the Atlantic can be replicated in Paris. In September, the Metropolitan Museum in New York had to extend his installation, The Quintet of the Astonished, by 6 months due to the high public demand.
Hiroyuki Umeda, what do you think of Bill Viola's work?
It's very beautiful. I have seen a lot of his work when I was young, and I'm going to visit this exhibition.
Are you going to try to go and see the exhibition in Paris?
Yeah.
If you have the time, because I imagine you're very busy with your
I have
show.
time. I have time.
You'll find the time.
Yes.
Okay. Let's now talk about a photographer. He's French. He's called JR. JR has asked people from around the world to share their stories as part of the Inside Out project of his. In Turkey, Tuba Aymur and Tolga Bayrakar answered this call. Their photographs were then posted on walls around Istanbul.
It's in these streets in a rundown area of Istanbul that Turkish photographer Tolga found what he was looking for, the faces behind a series of vast portraits entitled We Are the Same When We Smile. It's part of a worldwide project called Inside Out by French artist JR, which sees large prints exhibited in public spaces in more than 100 countries.
The rain, the weather, the people, the children who draw moustaches on them. All the things that can happen to them in the street, in one way or another. All these things mean that the posters won't last. They will last a little while, but not forever. They will last as long as they're meant to.
Young women, the elderly, children, the black and white portraits are all real people posing in everyday environments, with an emphasis on diversity.
This area is very religious and multicultural. There are people of all ethnicities, as you can see. They live together here, Muslims, Alevis, Jews, Christians. They live in peace.
The art project in Balat in Istanbul's Golden Horn is taking place as the area goes through a period of regeneration, and many locals were keen to take part.
There's a bad situation here, but we are still happy. We can still smile. and people should see this.
I'm convinced we're all equal, and I think this should be emphasized and explained to people, so I was happy to take part in this project.
But life for locals here is under threat. The regeneration is forcing up rents, and many residents are finding themselves pushed out of the area. The smiles, like the art, will not necessarily last for long.
Hiroyuki Umeda, it was great talking to you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Your show that's part of the LA Dance Project 2 is on at the Théâtre du Châtelet in Paris. It finishes this Sunday. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, that's it for today. Don't forget to follow us on our social networks and on France24.com. I leave you with a sneak preview of an exhibition called Visage. It's on in Marseille in the south of France. It brings together masterpieces by Picasso, Magritte, Matisse and Andy Warhol. The music of this clip was picked by our producers Renaud Lefort and Nicolas Hebden. So enjoy and see you soon.